can we trust another foreigner? Foreigner in quote. Given what they perceive Ruto to have done to them. That question is a very important and critical question that at some point will have to be asked and answered by the Mount Kenya. Forget about the insults. Those are common. They all insult each other. Uhuru said all manner of things about Raila. They work together. Ruto said all things about Raila. They work together. Raila said things about Uhuru. They work together. Raila said nice things about Ruto. They are together. So we cannot say Uhuru is refusing to work with Gachagua on the basis of what Gachagua said or did, kuiba mbuzi moja mbili, which was insured. It can't be that. It can only be
Great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Which way Mount Kenya? That is my conversation with Prof. Herman Manyora. Great to see you. How are you doing today?
good, good.
You think they will vote as a block in 2027? The Meru, the Tharaka, the Embu, the Kiambu, Murang'a, will they unite under one person? Looking at the trends that have been happening, Uhuru Kenyatta, they say Uhuru on one side, Gachagua on this other side.
I think given their bitterness, given their feeling of betrayal, almost persecution, given the way they perceive Ruto, given the anger around the mountain, which is well driven by Gachagua, I do not see the Mount Kenya people splitting their votes. With such a common history, I don't think anybody banking on the split will be doing the right thinking. They will be wrong.
What does this mean? Does this mean Jubilee will eventually join DCP or DCP will join Jubilee?
Whichever way it goes. The people can even choose to ignore Jubilee and the DCP and just do their thing, which is if they settle on Matiang'i, they just give him the votes. If they think Gachagua is standing and is the right person, they give him. If they think Kalonzo or Eugene or Natembeya or Sifuna, whoever it is, they just give him.
What do you think? Why do you think they might vote for an outsider who is Matiang'i?
I'm not necessarily saying Matiang'i. It can be any outsider. First of all, there are two or three things here. The first thing is that the mountain is united. I don't see them splitting their vote. The second thing is the question of an outsider. It's not something idle, and I've talked about it in another show. The people of Mount Kenya will eventually, ultimately, be confronted with that question. Can we trust another foreigner? Foreigner in quote. Given what they perceive Ruto to have done to them. That question is a very important and critical question that at some point will have to be asked and answered by the Mount Kenya. When that question is answered, then the next question will be, if an outsider, who?
You'll tell me who.
If no, who among us can we trust?
Before we get to the outsider, the insider,
Yes.
Gachagua was blaming the likes of Ndindi Nyoro for working with Ruto just a couple of weeks ago. How crucial is it for the Mount Kenya people to consider these leaders that are in the mountain, especially Gachagua himself as the kingpin and Uhuru Kenyatta as support for anyone else when it comes to voting in 2027? Would it be advisable to settle for their own?
I'm saying that when they answer that question,
Would it be advisable?
you see, it depends on what hat you want me to put on. If I'm just looking at these things as a political analyst, as a person who can see the way things are going or they go, I say it may be advisable. It may work. But if I'm thinking like a Kenyan, I have always stood my ground. And other nations have beaten the bullet on this issue. Is it advisable for one group to dominate others in a political arrangement? Is it advisable that if there's a dominant group in Ethiopia, it should rule the rest forever? South Africa, Tanzania. By the way, you know the Sokomo or whatever, the Skuma, people don't know. They are the Kikuyu of Tanzania in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
They are a huge percentage, much huger than the Kikuyus of Kenya in terms of the. So, countries, Ghana, they have addressed these issues. Is it in the interest of a country? And I'm boiling down to counties. I raised an issue in Vihiga County. We have 4 communities in Vihiga where I come from. We have the Manyora, Maragoli, Tiriki, and Terek, Kalenjin. You know, they are a subgroup in our place. So, increasingly, the Manyora are becoming the Kikuyu of Vihiga. So, my question I've been asking, do you think it's in the interest of the county? My honest answer is no. So, for that reason, to answer your question, it is not in the interest of this country for 2 communities to dominate the politics of this country. Kikuyu, Kalenjin. Kikuyu, Kalenjin. I don't want to mention a neighboring country that went down where there was terrible loss of human life because of the same. Because the moment you create a picture, not even a picture, the moment you make people get to the conclusion that whatever they do, they will never be part of the leadership of the country, you are setting up yourself for destruction. So for that reason, it may not be advisable. But you see, who am I to advise? And therefore, we are left with raw politics. And this show is about politics.
Yes.
We are not advising. We are not advisors. We don't advise nations what to do here.
This is politics.
This is politics. We talk about politics.
Yes, sir.
The Kikuyus may find that the only assurance they can have to avoid the repeat of what Ruto did to them is to have the power themselves. Sometimes it makes sense. I have said, sometimes you need power to correct wrongs. Yeah. Sometimes you need power. Because outside power, you can't correct anything.
But your thinking is Uhuru's
if you grab the power,
yes.
Uhuru alluded to it. Not alluded, he said it's not good for this country for us to have another Kikuyu president. He said it openly.
And he had the power.
How I wish he had actualized it when he was the president. Immediately after winning 2017, because if he tried earlier, Ruto will gang up against him. Because it will not be Kikuyu, it will be Kalenjin and Kikuyu. So if he started the conversation in the first term, Ruto would have ganged up with others and made Uhuru a one-term president. But immediately after being sworn in for his second term, why didn't he make that his agenda? I know the answer can be found in BBI. But BBI was too broad to address that one thing. He needed to isolate that issue and figure out how to address it. That's what I mean by having power and then addressing a problem.
Do you think Uhuru will have a sway? We have already talked about his position as a Kenyatta, his position of influence, but looking at things now as is, and regarding Gachagua's Mount Kenya kingpinship.
It depends on the dynamics. What we have already said. We have said the Mount Kenya community will address the issue of foreigners, where their vote is going. Now, it is likely they would listen to Gachagua, either vote for him as an individual, if they decide they don't want a foreigner, or listen to Gachagua in terms of who Gachagua presents to the people. Natembeya, Matiang'i, Kalonzo. You see, or ignore what Gachagua is saying in terms of either he wants to be president or he's supporting another person from outside. And instead, listen to Uhuru Kenyatta and vote for the candidate Uhuru brings.
Finally, looking at foreigners, who is the likely foreigner to be supported? Now that Matiang'i is associated with Jubilee, Kalonzo, friends of the loyal opposition. Kisia was telling me if you're not with the loyal opposition, you're with government, something that Matiang'i will have to deal with. But who is likely to be supported by Mount Kenya? Kalonzo, Matiang'i?
One, they agree that they are... First of all, the conversation around whether or not they should trust a foreigner will largely inform who they will support. You cannot discuss the issue. You cannot have a conversation around who to support, whether to support a foreigner or not, and finally, yes, let's support a foreigner, without having some foreigner in mind. Yeah. When they are addressing the issue of whether or not they can trust another foreigner after Ruto, the question of who that foreigner is will be a twin issue. This is going to be a twin issue between, whether or not support a foreigner, given what Ruto has done to them, and which foreigner. It will be twin. But again, it will depend at that point who they are listening to. And this is between Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua. Because now you can see there's a division between the two. It's clear. It's not something we are no longer speculating or guessing. That rift is there. So if they choose to believe Uhuru Kenyatta, niliwaambia hamukusikia mmeona. So if this time they listen to Uhuru Kenyatta, they will support Matiang'i.
I know I said finally, but why isn't Uhuru supporting Gachagua? Because this would have been so easy.
We have said that repeatedly. We said, if indeed both of them are genuine about removing Ruto, this will not be the time for them to fight. Because the fight can only come at the benefit of Ruto. If Uhuru is genuine about removing Ruto, and if Gachagua is genuine about removing Ruto, it's a no-brainer.
What we do...
Even a grade 5 child will tell them, just behave like a chicken. When the mwewe anakuja and the chicks are wanarudi ana fight hiyo mwewe, then anarudi kuambia chicks, nyinyi next time nikiwapata mkizurura beyond the whatever the safe place mtaniona. So Uhuru and Rigathi Gachagua is common sense. They should unite, chase out the mwewe, then come back to the chicks. After Ruto has gone, they now say, okay, fine. 2027, 2032 is a transitional period. Now we can support the people we wanted to support in 2032. But to the extent that they are not doing that...
You know what we've seen? We've seen Gachagua trying to reach out to Uhuru.
Yes, and having very nice words for him.
So can we say it's Uhuru who doesn't want Gachagua?
It's the question of supremacy, the way I see it. There are only two reasons why Uhuru Kenyatta would not want to work with Gachagua. Forget about the insults. Those are common. They all insult each other. Uhuru said all manner of things about Raila. They work together. Ruto said all things about Raila. They work together. Raila said things about Uhuru. They work together. Raila said nice things about Ruto. They are together. So we cannot say Uhuru is refusing to work with Gachagua on the basis of what Gachagua said or did. Kuiba mbuzi moja mbili, which was insured. It can't be that. It can only be one of the two. How many?
Two. One of the two.
Either they are fighting for supremacy, which in my view will be childish. Because that supremacy will soon be dismantled by Ruto if Ruto won. Both will be relevant. Give Ruto a second chance, a second term. Both Uhuru and Gachagua will disappear from the map, political map of this country. And the Kenyatas will be finished forever. So the other option is Uhuru is working for Ruto. That's the only way Uhuru will refuse to work with Gachagua. Either they are naive enough to fight for something which will disappear anyway if Ruto wins, because they are fighting opens the room for Ruto to win.
Yes.
And if Ruto wins, both of them will be relevant. So they are naive. Or Uhuru is doing Ruto's bidding.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation. Which way, Mount Kenya? Leave a comment down below. Share this video with as many people as possible so that we can reach those who need to hear. Hii ndio inaitwa siasa. Goodbye for now.